Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya. Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, chapter 20. Full surrender. Apyadyanastvam swakrate hita prabho jihasasi svit suhrudo nujeevinaha yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasu yojitam hasam. O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us. So this chapter is named Full Surrender. The Pandavas are most fortunate because with all good luck, please note these statements, with all good luck, they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. In the material world, to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is the utmost sign of misfortune. But in the case of our transcendental relationship with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case when we can live completely dependent on Him. The material disease is due to thinking of becoming independent of everything. But the cruel material nature does not allow us to become independent. The false attempt to become independent of the stringent laws of nature is known as material advancement of experimental knowledge. The whole material world is moving on this false attempt at becoming independent of the laws of nature. Beginning from Ravana, who wanted to prepare a direct staircase to the planets of heaven, down to the present age, they are trying to overcome the laws of nature. They're trying to now to approach distant planetary systems by electronic mechanical power. Okay, we'll come to this. So, see, this is very difficult to understand for many people, right? That to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is the utmost sign of misfortune in the material world, right? So if suppose say, oh, I'm dependent on somebody, who will say, what is this? You have to be independent. You have to be self-dependent. Uh, um, but in Prabhupada is saying, in the case of our transcendental relationship with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case when we can live completely dependent on. So many things are there behind this statement. See, first is obviously we should understand of our very precarious, dangerous situation in this material world. Padam padam yad vipadam. So every step there is danger, there is difficulty, and we don't know to what extent we have to suffer. So what I mean, it's just foolishness to think that. First is to think we are independent is foolishness because we are absolutely dependent on on Krishna and the laws of nature, right, that are governing this material world. We're absolutely dependent on them. We are not independent. Uh, Simple thing, we can't decide which house we will be born, who are our parents. We can't decide anything about ourselves. So how are we independent? Now, just because we are able to do some little, like for example, I take food and put it into my mouth and I say I'm independent. No, you're not independent. Because you are supposed to get that food, because of your previous karma, you got that food. And because you've done good karma that you can actually lift your hand, put it into the plate, take the food, put it into your mouth, you think you are independent. But it's all just a result of some good things that you've done, and under the direction of Krishna, the demigods are giving you whatever you are supposed to get. In no way we are independent. Right? It's just foolishness to think that we are independent. Now, in spite of knowing all this, even as practicing devotees, many times we think independently. And multiple times in these classes, I have said that initiation means giving up this nonsense independence. This independence is actually what is holding us back in this material world. So, giving up this independence to the will of the Guru is actually real freedom. That is real freedom. Not being independent. Being independent is bondage. Giving up independence is freedom. Right? But we can't understand this. Even today, devotees don't like to accept authority. Right? Because authority means giving up independence. Because we want to maintain this, this I am tiny Lord, I am tiny Krishna. I want to maintain that. I was just thinking in every aspect of our life, suppose say we are given some service, right? So in at home, let's say somebody is taking care of the kitchen, somebody is taking care of earning money. Now, if somebody else gets involved, like we'll say, don't poke your nose into my affairs, right? Like this kind of approach. Wherein that is why, generally in houses, there can be only one lady responsible for the kitchen. If there is mother and mother-in-law, then gone, right? World war. Both cannot get into the kitchen. And that is the reason why this whole thing is Varnashrama was such that, when the girl gets married at a young age, the training period is when mother and mother-in-law will be together. After the training period is here, over, mother-in-law is out of the kitchen, should be out of the kitchen. Because we want to maintain that independence. See, this is my area. Don't bother. Don't simply poke your nose. And this happens even in bhakti, in services. When devotees are given some service, they don't like others getting involved. Yesterday, I was in our temple Govardhan program. We were actually 10:30. We had announced Kirtan. Kirtan had not started. So then, when I came in, I requested somebody saying that can you please start Kirtan because we said 10:30. We have not started. Then what the devotee said. The devotee said, Prabhu, I don't want to offend that other devotee. It is his service. Because what is the feeling? That means that somebody will get offended if you do his service. But we are not doing his service. He is not doing his service. So we are doing on his behalf. Where is the mistake? And of course, when he comes, we will give the place and let him continue his service. Not that we want to usurp or take somebody else's service, but this thought process is already always there. Oh, it's his service. Why should I get involved? But we forget that in the midst of all this, what are we trying to achieve? We are trying to serve Krishna, and we have to serve Krishna in the best possible way. Uh, It's just our false ego that we can't tolerate when somebody else, gets involved in our area of service. And it's just because we want to remain independent. We don't want any authorities. So we don't want guru also. Simply namesake. Namesake guru. Okay, I have a guru. That's all. Whatever he says, I don't really bother. I don't put it on my ears only. The best thing is not here at all. So many devotees I know, they don't hear at all. They don't know what their guru is speaking. So this wanting to remain independence is our disease. Now, of course, cruel material nature does not allow us to become independent, to remain independent. And even coming on the spiritual platform, we are not expected to be independent. Now, at a higher level, now when you go slightly higher and think about, okay, making progress in spiritual life. Now, if suppose throughout our life, just think about this one point. Throughout our life, if we are always thinking I'm in control, I have to take care of things, then what will happen is our consciousness will always be in just, you know, drowned in just material problems and their solutions, isn't it? Because, okay, this problem is there and I think I have to do it. I have to solve for it. So, which means that every problem, every situation, and as long as somebody is in family life, there'll be one or the other. There are three, four people in the house, each, like in rotation or sometimes multiple people's problems come together at the same time. And we are just engaged in, okay, how do I solve this? How do I solve? Because I'm thinking I'm the doer. Right now, what do pure devotees do? Pure devotees come to a stage where first thing is they don't really bother too much about these things, about small, big problems, whatever happens. And they'll try, okay, something I have to do. Okay, I will try based on whatever intelligence Krishna has given. But then just leave it to Krishna. Just completely depend on him. Okay, Krishna, I'm trying this, but whatever has to happen, I'm left it to you. But at a lower stage, what we will do, okay, I have to solve this problem. I have to solve this problem. So we over endeavor. We are overly trying to solve our problems. And maybe it's not time for the problem to be get solved, and we get sucked into material consciousness. As we make progress, we have to first understand, saying that, okay, how much ever I try, it's going to happen only if Krishna wills. So simply just depend on him. He's like a child. Child takes a problem, puts it in front of parents, and just runs away, go back to his play. So like that, we also take a problem, we put it in Krishna's lotus feet, and Krishna say, Krishna, I'm trying, but I don't know. I'm leaving it to you. Right? And then what happens? That weight of that problem goes off our head because we just left it to Krishna. And this is complete dependence on Krishna. And this complete dependence is required because if throughout our life we keep thinking, I'm the doer, how can we make progress beyond? See, we have to come to the stage of liberation. Meaning, we have to come to the stage of not getting too bothered by the material world around us. That is liberated state, right? Not getting affected by it. So either we raise above all this and we become carefree and just say it doesn't matter. That is an even higher stage. But before getting there, maybe we can at least come to the stage where you're saying, okay, I'm concerned about the problem, but I'm not going to get worried about it. I'm going to just leave it at Krishna's lotus feet. So, and that will give us that complete dependence, will give us that freedom from all these worrying thoughts. And then we can actually do Kirtaniya Sadahari. But for that, we have to be Trinadapi. We have to be humble. Otherwise, if I'm always thinking I'm the doer, I can achieve stuff, then, how are you going to make progress? How are we going to come to the stage of depending on Krishna, thinking about Krishna, if you're always thinking about ourselves, our abilities? So, spiritual life is opposite to material life. Material life, we want to be independent, we want to be the doer, we want to be the achiever. Spiritual life is completely the opposite. I want to be an instrument, I want to be dependent on Krishna. I am not the doer. So, and without coming to that stage, we cannot actually go beyond our thoughts. Just think about this. The more we think we are the doers, the more our consciousness is just affected by all material things around us. Right? Because we are thinking every moment, oh, I have to solve this, I have to do this, I have to do that. So we have to raise about this. We are above this. So we have to come to the stage of complete dependence on Krishna. So it's a very deep topic actually. But the highest goal of human civilization is to work hard under the guidance of the Lord and become completely dependent on Him. This is the highest goal. Actually, this is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Sarvadharman paritijya mam ekam sharanam braja. Now, yesterday I was putting some messages on the group with actually about this topic. So this is from His Holiness Shivram Maharaj book on Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. Very amazing book. We can read that after we have read and understood, digested Prabhupada's books to some extent. So Maharaj is saying that this Sarvadharman Parityaja is actually Krishna's call for surrender. Krishna is, he says, heartfelt call. Krishna is calling everybody, saying that just come. You've done so much of nonsense in your lives, previous life. It's very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to manage all this by yourself. Come to me. Come to me. I will take care of things. I will take care of things. Don't worry. Come to me. And then Maharaj writes in that book so beautifully that everybody will not come to this stage. Everybody cannot surrender. Because if we don't have full faith in Krishna, it is called pure faith. If we don't have pure faith in Krishna, then we will not surrender. We will be very, very doubtful. We will think, who will take care of my family? Who will take care of my work? Who will take care of this? Who will take care of that? I only have to do it. And I've told this multiple times. Whatever we think, Krishna will say, okay, tathastu. If I think I am taking care of the house, Krishna will say, okay, tathastu. If I think I am taking care of my health, Krishna will say, okay, tathastu. That means that he will give us that space and let us do whatever we want till we come to our, consciousness and surrender to him, saying that Krishna, no, it's only you. So this is called impure faith or mixed faith, right? Pure faith, a devotee who is treading the path of pure faith, pure devotion, he will surrender. He will surrender to Krishna. And actually, Maharaj makes this beautiful statement. Yeah. Surrender at Krishna's lotus feet is a milestone in the devotee's on journey in the material world. The Lord acknowledges this by instilling in them fearlessness in their combat with Maya and by extending to them his infallible shelter. Right? So, this is the whole point that we have to, right here. One Jiva Goswami says that one can discern surrender in the devotee's character by their constant endeavor to serve Krishna without a trace of fruitive intent. Now, constant endeavor doesn't mean that we are not doing our work or we have given up our duties. We can do that till we are in Grihastha ashram. We can do that. I'm not saying we should do that. We can do that till we are in Grihastha ashram. But actually, the surrender means that knowing that when I depend on Krishna, Krishna will take care. Krishna will take care. Krishna has taken care in the past. He will take care today. He will take care in the future. So we have to work under. So Prabhupada is saying, you work hard, but under the guidance of the Lord and His representative, and become completely dependent on Him. And the surrender is the first stage. Bhagavad Gita ends with surrender. So if we have read Bhagavad Gita, if we say I have read Bhagavad Gita, that means I should have surrendered to Krishna. I cannot be a devotee till I surrender to Krishna. Devotee surrenders to Krishna. And surrender means just completely dependent on Him. That's all. Dependent on Him, on His mercy. Right? So at a very high stage, right? Even in Vrindavan, for example, all these various pastimes are taking place. There's a fire, there's this, that happening. And I shared that message of Giriraj Maharaj writing a letter to Srila Prabhupada. Says, Krishna is doing so many things, he's, so many difficulties for Vrajavasis. And Vrajavasis come and sometimes pray to Krishna, Krishna, please help us. But it is never mentioned about gopis coming and asking Krishna to protect them, to help them. And whatever suffering they are going through in their life, be it because of their mother-in-laws, their situations, whatever, they're not praying to Krishna. Krishna, please solve my, solve my problem. They're just saying, I want to serve you. That's all. Whether you are going to solve my problem or not, that's up to you. Ashlishya va padaratam pinastu mam darshanam armahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadatu lampata. However you want, you take care. I'm not bothered. My only desire is I want to serve you. So we have to get there. We have to go there. That is our stage of complete dependence on Krishna, wherein we are so dependent that we are not even asking Him to solve our problem. So we have to make progress. Right? The highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. See, work with valor, which means that okay, if we have a service, we will try our best. Pandavas were trying their best to fight, but they were simply completely dependent on the Lord. They never thought it's my doing. They thought, yeah, if Krishna wants, he'll get it done from us. That's all. The Pandavas were the ideal executors of this standard of civilization. Undoubtedly, they were completely dependent on the goodwill of Lord Krishna. But they were not idle parasites of the Lord. This is the point, right? Not idle parasites, meaning I have something to be done. It's not like I will not try something at all. And then ask Krishna, Krishna, please. Like Krishna is our order supplier. Krishna, I have this problem, take care of it. No. Devotees will attempt, but at a lower level of surrender, they'll attempt to solve their problem and then depend on Krishna. At a higher level, they might not even attempt, they might not even call for Krishna's help. It's up to the devotees' level of surrender. They were all highly qualified, both by personal character and by physical activities. Still, they always looked for the mercy of the Lord because they knew that every living being is dependent by constitutional position. The perfection of life is therefore to become dependent on the will of the Lord instead of become falsely independent in the material world. And like I'm reiterating this, dependent on the will of the Lord means dependent on the will of Guru. So we should give up this false independence. Those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anatha, or without any guardian. Why? Because we don't want to then listen to anybody. We think that we are independent and we just want to do whatever we want. So in one way, because we are anatha, guardian, without any guardian, because nobody to guide us. So we will do whatever we want. Whereas those who are completely dependent on the will of the Lord are called sanatha, or so those having someone to protect them. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected from the unfavorable condition of material existence. By the deluding power of the external material nature, we forget that the material condition of life is the most undesirable perplexity. We don't realize, Prabhupada is saying, we forget this. And we engage ourselves thinking I'm the doer again to get bound. The Bhagavad Gita 7.1 therefore directs us that after many, many births, one fortunate person becomes aware of the fact that Vasudeva Krishna is all in all and that the best way of leading one's life is to surrender unto him completely. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate. Prapatti means surrender. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha is a very fortunate person. But please understand that this is a Jnani. This is a Jnani who has now become a Bhakta. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan. So one who is in knowledge, right, is a Gnani. So which means that he's already raised above the stage of karma, sense gratification. And so we cannot surrender till we are, going strong to enjoy sense gratification. And when somebody does bhakti and at the same time is doing acts for sense gratification, fruitive activities, then he's called a karma mishra bhakta. And our goal is to move from karma mishra bhakti to kevala bhakti. Kevala bhakti means pure bhakti, gnana karma dhanavritam. So the problem with this is called mixed devotion. The problem with doing devotion and then wanting to also enjoy material life is okay, is definitely better than not doing bhakti, but it's not going to give us perfection. So actually, Maharaj in that book writes saying that they're almost near the gate of Vaikuntha. Who even the people who are doing mixed devotion, devotees who are doing mixed devotion are also almost near the gate of Vaikuntha. Almost near. Devotees who are doing pure devotion are there already. They're already at the gate, right? So basically they have to just enter, that's all. But those who are doing mixed devotion are also near. So it's not that they're to be disrespected or anything. But the idea is that why come near the gate? Why not come at the gate, or why not become qualified to enter the gate? And what we have to give up this sense of freedom, independence to enjoy independent of Krishna. To whatever extent it is there in us, to that extent we are that much far away from the gate. And once we give up this propensity to enjoy independent of Krishna or to live life independent of Krishna, we surrender unto him completely. And when we surrender, that is the indication of pure devotion. A pure devotee first surrenders himself to Krishna. So that is why Prabhupada is saying that is the sign of a Mahatma. Mahatma means pure devotee. All the members of the Pandava family were Mahatmas in household life. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the head of these Mahatmas and Queen Kunti Devi was the mother. The lessons of the Bhagavad Gita and all the Puranas, specifically the Bhagavata Purana, are therefore inevitably connected with the history of the Pandava Mahatmas. For them, separation from the Lord was just like the separation of a fish from water. Srimati Kunti Devi therefore felt such separation like a thunderbolt, and the whole prayer of the queen is to try to persuade the Lord to stay with them. After the battle of Kurukshetra, although the inimical kings were killed, their sons and grandsons were still there to deal with the Pandavas. It is not only the Pandavas who are put into the condition of enmity. All of us are always in such a condition. And the best way of living is to become completely dependent on the will of the Lord and thereby overcome all difficulties of material existence. It's not that we have to continue our suffering. No, we can overcome the difficulties. In fact, when we completely depend on the will of Krishna over a period of time, Krishna removes all difficulties. Krishna removes all our suffering. But it takes little time. Krishna wants to see whether we are just, is it like serious surrender or just some sentimental, some situational kind of surrender. So we'll wait and see. And that phase might be a little difficult for those devotees. They will have quite some situations to handle, right? But once they pass the test, then that's it. Krishna takes away all difficulties. And this will happen inevitably to all pure devotees, everybody on the path, right? Before Durga Devi completely takes off her control, there'll be some tests to see how surrendered we are, how dependent we are. And when we pass the test, then we are done. Then Krishna just takes away. Then Krishna just gives just to make our attachment to him more, so that we become more dear to him. We get closer to him. So some situations might be there in devotees' lives, but that's not karma phala. That's just the Lord's mercy. That's all. Right. So we have to understand all these, very why Prabhupada did not actually. Maharaj in that book also says that Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada, they did not approve of mixed devotion. Mixed devotion is called indirect path. It's indirect. Direct path is pure devotion, full surrender. After the battle of Kurukshetra ended and the Pandavas were established in their kingdom, Krishna, before going back home to Dwaraka, was taking leave of his aunt and bidding her farewell. It was at that time that Kunti offered this prayer. Now she directly asks, is it a fact that after finishing your duty, you are going away and leaving us alone? This is the devotee's position. See, we should not think that Kunti Devi is just praying because she wants protection. Devotees always, they know how to what to present in what way. Right? They cannot be separated from Krishna. Kunti Devi says, let the sufferings come again because I will get a chance to think about you. So we should not misunderstand Kunti Devi's prayers to think, lower level of devotion, right? She's asking for protection. No, it's like the friends of, Krishna, when they want to, the Talavan, Dhenukasura pastime, they go and tell Krishna, Krishna, we want to eat the fruits. But actually, they didn't want to eat the fruits. They wanted Krishna and Balaram to enjoy the fruits. But if they say, for your sake, go and do this, they'll say, no, Krishna and Balaram will refuse. So they'll say, no, no, I'll say if we say for us, we require, then Krishna and Balaram will do it. Then we'll feed the fruits to them. So Kunti Devi just wants the association of Krishna. That's all. But she's saying, yeah, so if I say that protection, then Krishna will be moved. Kunti Devi says, Yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat. We have no means of protection other than your lotus feet. This is full surrender. This is full surrender. They were already fully surrendered. They didn't have to actually pray. Kunti Devi didn't have to pray. Even without Kunti Devi or Pandavas asking, Krishna is so concerned that he will be there. He was there when Brahmastra came. Even Pandavas did not even pray to Krishna. Krishna is there. He wants to take care of his pure devotees. He destroyed the Brahmastra even before they could lift their weapons. So they were already there. But she's just saying this so that, Krishna can remain some reason, somehow. But for us, that lesson is that full dependence, full surrender. Full surrender means just if you have to understand what full surrender is, simply like a child. Child goes to the parents, takes the problem, puts it at their feet, or tells it to them, and then says, "Okay, please take care of it." He will not going to say, "This is the solution. This is how we have to do this." Nothing. He just says, "Whatever, father, mother, I have a problem." That's it. Tells and then goes. This is full surrender, right? So very high, very high platform. But we should not shy away from getting there. We have to get there because if we don't get there, we are not It's not pure devotion. It's not pure devotion till we remain dependent on ourselves. It's false ego. So we have to understand this topic, very, very important actually. We are stuck in this aham and mama. So we will not fully surrender to Krishna. We don't have the faith. So that is why this is impure faith which is preventing us from surrendering fully to Krishna. Okay, I'll stop here. It's a very deep topic. If you have any questions, comments, we can discuss. Any thoughts, questions, difficulties? Nothing?
Prabhuji, can I share something?
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I know of a couple. They're very, very close to me from the last 20 years. Very senior couple, and they do a lot of service.
Mm-hmm.
Prabhuji got sick, and I went to visit Mataji, like there I'm Prabhu, like and Mataji, and she said, Krishna, why Sumantra you're like this? Krishna takes care of even demons. Why will he not take of me?
Absolutely.
Just depend on Krishna. Even demons he takes. And I mean, not that she was not like she didn't have the emotions. Her hair was wet. Oh, sorry, her eyes were wet.
She's not able to explain. They were so much dependent. They were taking care of medical, but okay. Ultimately, they decided to go to
bone marrow had to be replaced.
burn. Actually, his body was not producing bone marrow,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a risky. And only family member they found that brother only can give. So they were planning to go London.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, in the history of London hospital, that all document got lost. They sent by courier, and it got delayed their travel. First time it happened, and in the meantime, they were staying in Eco Village, Govardhan. In the meantime, she found one well.
She got so fed up.
She fed up.
Prabhuji was so, like every day he's having fever, every day he's getting injected, every day blood. Then he told and the transfusion of blood. This went on for almost about 3 to 4 years. And Prema Mataji, like she was, like she had left her son in Calcutta and she was in the Eco Village. Ultimately, Prabhu said, I don't want to do anything. Just leave me to the Lord.
Yes.
Like, mere ko kuch bhi nahi lena, dawai bagai. And you know what, Prabhu? Mataji said, okay, we'll do one thing. He refused to take medicines. He refused to do anything. And she said, okay, we'll try one. He said, okay, kuch Ayurvedic, let's do it, this thing. And she didn't know any Ayurvedic doctor. And she just randomly went on just a search and she found a doctor in Jaipur. And he never gets out. Apparently, I don't know how he came on the phone. And he said, she just said, please come. And Prabhuji, I tried getting in touch with this doctor. You send him the history. He'll talk to you over the phone. If you pay the money, that's it. He will not call you. Like his.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, the Krishna's arrangement of things. He came to Bombay. He said, stop all medicines. Take this. And very, 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 I don't know, जैसे बोलते हैं ना भगवान को रखना तो राख भी काम आ जाती है. What was to be operated, a risky operation, in 1 week his fever was gone. He had turned black and blue. His color came back. And today, in a matter of 4 months, he's back to his services, and he's in Mayapur. And every time I rang up Mataji, she had only one statement: Sumantra, Krishna will take care.
Yes.
Sumantra, Krishna will take care.
Yes.
He takes care of demons. So why are you so like this? And she used to have tears in eyes. Sumantra, he will take care. I have not. This is something which is, like a film in front of me when you were taking a class.
Absolutely. I mean, and see the why these things happen. To those devotees, first is full surrender. No, they're all there. They're there. It's like 1 inch away, right? And Krishna doesn't want these devotees to come back. They want him. He wants them to achieve perfection.
And Prabhu,
Right?
like, and nobody can think about, papers lost. You are supposed to get it operated the next week. The tickets are booked, and then like, and just see the
We are
arrangement. See
now
the
we are
arrangement.
we are so simply foolish that we think that we are taking care of things, and Krishna wants to intervene. And when Krishna intervenes, this is what happens, right? I mean, and he'll do things that we cannot even understand, right? We cannot even understand. And then, but if we have trust, those devotees who have trust in Krishna, they'll say, no, this is Krishna's desire, this is Krishna's intervention, I will go with it, right? And
All
see, this
meditation.
suffering, when it goes to, Krishna wants us to give up this, the attachment to the body and trying to take care of it, because he wants us to come to the platform of thinking I am spirit soul. So what does he do for those devotees who are stuck with their body? He pushes them to such an extent that they have to simply give up that attachment. Simply give up. You do whatever you want, you stand upside down, nothing is happening. Then what will you do? You're fed up. Even if you're fed up, it's okay. You'll come to a stage where you'll say, Krishna, I'm just leaving it to you, do whatever you want. Right? And this is full surrender. And this full surrender is absolutely required. So that is why, when as devotees we are going through difficulties, we should not think that, oh, we're suffering and try to solve. No. See what is Krishna wanting from us. Okay. Full surrender. Okay. And of course, see, none of these can be artificial. These cannot be copied. We cannot just imitate this from hearing somebody else's life, but we can get inspired. We can get direction saying that, no, see, Krishna will not leave us. Krishna will not leave us. And that is pure faith. This is the whole thing about, actually, this is Ado Shraddha. We think, the initial Shraddha is Komal Shraddha, but actually, where do we have to take this Shraddha? This Shraddha has to come to the point of pure, completely surrendered Shraddha, faith, saying that Krishna is there. Everything is under his control, Baba. I mean, what is it? It's just one small, little, tiny body that we are worried about. And Krishna is running, taking care of so many Brahmandas. And one small, little body, one devotee's body, he will not take care. Why will he not take care? He will not take care if he thinks he should not take care, for a reason to bring the devotee closer to him. That's all. That's all. And if we don't come to this faith, this platform of faith, we will not fully surrender to Krishna. We will not fully surrender to Krishna. If we don't fully surrender to Krishna, there is no question of pure devotion. If there's no question of pure devotion, there's no going back to Godhead.
Like this miracle, Prabhu, the whole medical, this thing is, they're saying it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
I mean, what is medical?
It's just cannot happen. This is, but Prabhu, like everybody, like as you said, I mean, so much of faith to come in, and so much of to put a person into, your husband to a risk of saying, okay, and when because I'm not going to take any more. Prabhu, like it's not easy to digest. It's just see yesterday evening. I'm just connecting your class with yesterday's class and today's class. You said chant and be happy. It's such a simple statement, but are we really? I'm just putting a question mark. Do we really chant and be happy? We have so many knots in it. I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about myself. Prabhu.
No, everybody, Mataji. I mean, it's everybody.
I'm not saying. It's such a simple sentence, but is it as simple as it sounds?
No, it is. It is. See, but the beauty about this statement is that it is a fact.
Yeah, it is a fact. But if you are completely surrendered,
yeah, absolutely, right.
Not for people like us, for me, like people like me.
No.
Here, there.
No, Mataji.
Both I'm linking. I'm linking both the classes.
No, it's fine. It's fine, right, Mataji? But we disqualify ourselves, and I've been telling this again and again. We are disqualifying ourselves. No, we are disqualifying ourselves. You are disqualifying yourself, because if you just say that I want to, Krishna will push you. Krishna will give you the mercy, right?
Yeah, but Prabhu, like we are half baked. I'm half baked. I want to also. I don't want to do it also. I don't want to put the endeavor also, and I want the fruits also.
Okay,
that is where I'm stuck. I realize that when you talk, Prabhu, in the class, it's very simple. Your classes are very simple, but it tickles me. It does. Like that sort of. I'm not even talking about Kunti. I'm seeing Prema Mataji. I think it is I mean, in the complete class, I was just following what, and I'm not, and this is an actual incident which I follow.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've been constantly in touch with her.
Yeah. I mean, Krishna takes care. That's all I can say.
History of the medical this thing papers have been lost. The doctors are still wondering. And what is the treatment? Amla khao. Just herbs and grasses.
Nah, that's what body is made up of. That's what is the original solution for all our problems. Anyway, so the whole point is that we should be clear of the goal, right? That's where at least for me I started. I started with a goal in mind, right? I didn't think about the process and the difficulty in accepting a process. I just thought about the goal in mind, right? And what is the goal? I want
Arya Par.
association of Krishna. No, I want association of Krishna. Full stop. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Arya Par Prabhu, aap ekdam jump
Yeah,
maar
I mean,
gaye.
because see, but just think about it, Mataji. What else is there which is more valuable than being in the association of Krishna and serving? What else? Is there anything else more valuable than this? Is there
But
anything else which is going to give us more happiness than this?
very true, but to cut those threads is very that's
अरे
what
बाबा
holds
आप
you back.
आप
Yes,
फिर से आप फिर से प्रेजेंट पे आ रहे हैं मैं बोल रहा हूँ फर्स्ट फिक्स योर माइंड ऑन द फ्यूचर नो
absolutely, Prabhu.
right I'm saying forget about the difficult see because when I came into Krishna consciousness I didn't even know all these difficulties right that's the beauty right
Very
when we
true.
read Prabhupada's books full surrender Prabhupada is simply saying you have to go to Goloka and serve I said okay fine this is what it is right done I want to go now what do I need to do right because that once that thought was fixed in my mind saying that no I have to go back to Krishna till that till that thought became so fixed till then I didn't even know I didn't even bother to find out what I need to do right but once that thought became fixed like unbudging right then I said okay now what do I need to do then I figured okay you have to do this I said fine I'll do anything for it because that thought was so firmly stuck in my mind that I said I am ready to do anything for it. And that's all the attempt that, I'm talking like I've achieved something, but I'm
No,
saying
you
it's
have
just, no, it's
the
just that,
genuine.
it's just that, that drive,
Yes, Prabhu, the
keep the
genuine.
goal in front, keep the goal in front. Every time I have difficulty, that's why I have a big Radha Mada photo in front of me. I'm like, I mean, any situation in my life, I'll just go and look at Krishna there. That's all. And he smile. And the smile just reassures, saying that I am there, Baba. Kyun itna stress kar rahe ho? Right? And that's it. And then I drop it. I just drop it. Right? I just drop it saying that, okay, Krishna, I'm leaving it to you. Whatever you want. You want to keep this body, keep it. You want to destroy this body, destroy it. You want me to give me service, give me. But I want to serve. If you want to give me, I mean, how can I decide? I cannot take service from you, but I can beg for it. Right, so this automatically this dependence comes. So in a way, I feel I was so fortunate that I so much of suffering I've been going through, and that suffering is just opening me deeper and deeper into this whole thing. Right, and I today at least fortunately by Krishna's mercy, I can realize that this is what He's doing with me. Right, because we should desire that, and we should not be worried about suffering because the suffering is anyway in the mind, right? And it's really nothing, really. I mean, it's just matras parshastu konte, right? It's how much we think in the mind that I am suffering, so much I'm suffering. How much I can just make up my mind saying that no, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, I'm going to just serve Krishna, whatever possible. Okay, I can sit at home and chant. I can sit at home and give a class to somebody. I can sit at home and glorify Krishna. Okay, if that's all Krishna wants me to do, fine. But I want service. I want to be engaged in association of Krishna. Right, so keep the desire, and this just a humble request to everybody. Just keep the goal in mind. Don't worry about the present and the difficulties and our conditioning and all this is small little things for Krishna, very, very little insignificant things for Krishna. He can knock them off in no time. He can knock off. Do you think that removing our conditioning is difficult for Krishna? It's just a flick of a finger. I mean, he can just do it. He could have done it yesterday, right? But he's not doing it because we don't want it. So we want it. Even if you're not qualified, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. He will give us the qualification. Prabhupada said, I created the qualification for you, right? So our gurus are also exalted. We should look at them and learn how they are fully surrendered. And they are teaching us through their examples. I can see this is how we have to live life. It's not that we simply glorify them. We also have to learn. Of course, we cannot imitate them, but we should follow in their footsteps. We should follow in their footsteps. Anyway, so I can go on this topic forever. So we'll stop here. We'll continue. But please think about this. Full surrender is required if you want Krishna. Otherwise, we are not going to get Krishna. Okay, with that, I'll stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo mananta koti vaishnava. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.